What's happening with the Cardiothoracic program, and what was our bond rating?
We are still a formal affiliate of the Cleveland Clinic, based out of Cleveland, Ohio. The Cleveland Clinic's Cardiothoracic program has been ranked #1 in the nation for something like 28 years in a row now. So we are still formally their only California affiliate. So we share a lot of information, best practices. They allow us to piggyback their purchasing contracts to get lower prices. And we did enter into an arrangement with Stanford Health, hoping that we could leverage their strength, their reputation, to bring new cardiothoracic surgeons to our community. So it has always still been Kaweah Health's cardiac surgery program. But Dr. Mayer, who actually launched the program back in 1996, he did a short stint for a few years in Alaska. He came back here, working initially as what's called a locum tenens physician, so kind of a part-time physician to fill in. But now he's permanent, a full-time cardiothoracic surgeon, but he wants to retire in the future, and bless him and thank him. He's still an outstanding surgeon who our cardiologists have immense confidence and trust in him. So we worked with Stanford for almost 2 years to bring additional Stanford accredited faculty members that would be part of Stanford Health but would live and practice in our community. After a year and a half with them, they brought Dr. Michael McLean to us with the hope that he'd be full-time, but he started out just 3/4 time. Unfortunately, he had a lot of other activities in his life, both personally and professionally. Living down in LA, his family still living in LA, but him coming up here, a couple weeks a month, which began to decline over time to the point where he was only here 1 week a month. And we had no other prospects from Stanford Health that were coming, none in the pipeline. And so Dr. Joseph Wu, who's the chair there, he and I had several conversations. I said, this just isn't working out. He agreed. Didn't realize that it'd be so difficult to attract cardiothoracic surgeons. They're as rare as radiologists, Dr. Hightower. But your second question, unfortunately, our credit rating was downgraded from an A3, one of the few A-rated hospitals in the Central Valley, to what's called a BA1. A BA1, unfortunately, is a 4-tick drop in credit rating, which actually took us below investment grade, otherwise known as junk bonds. So, which means that it doesn't affect us now. It doesn't change the interest rate that we're currently paying on our debt, because it's all fixed rate debt. It does change the value of a bond that somebody, an investor that holds a Kaweah bond, its value went down as a result of it. You can still hold it to maturity and get your full par value back. But if you try to sell it now, you're going to have to sell it for less than probably what you paid for it. We did recently receive an uptick in our outlook. So we were downgraded to that BA1 with a negative outlook, and our outlook's been upgraded to stable based on our financial performance over this last year. But it is going to take us some time to get back to an A3 rating. It will probably take several years. It's easy to go down. It's much more difficult to go back up. There have been a tremendous amount of bond downgrades. Adventist Health just had their credit rating downgraded as well. So not that there's any comfort in being in good company, but we need to be able to demonstrate that last year wasn't a fluke. Certainly this increase in the supplemental Medi-Cal payment, if that is approved by CMS, that will have probably a very significant impact on our credit rating going forward.